All right, everybody. Hello there, Miss Marie. Good morning. It's Monday, July 27th. How are you doing?
I am fantastic, Rob. How are you today?
I'm fine. You obviously made a trip and you made it safely,
I
as
did.
we can tell. And that's awesome. So it's good to have you back. We missed you on Thursday and Friday. The episodes only lasted 42 minutes. So you and I got a heck of a challenge today.
So are you saying we have to tighten it up and keep it closer to 42 minutes?
I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying you bring so much value that you had 10 to 15 minutes onto the show, and that's awesome.
Well, I do my best.
I was lost after I was like, okay, I have nothing else to say. Okay, guys, we got to end the show. So it was an abrupt ending. It wasn't a smooth ending by no means. But anyway, it was obvious that you were missed. There was a gaping hole there. So
Well, I appreciate that, and I apologize for the awkwardness that it caused.
well, thank you. Just don't do it again.
Can't make any promises there.
Uh-oh. Sounds like to me, guys, that she's going to be leaving us again soon. Oh boy, I better get myself ready. So with that being said, Miss Marie, we're going to cover an important topic, as you can see in the ticker. Guys, what we're going to be covering today is how to get your business off to a quick, profitable, and correct start. That's three separate categories, three separate important subjects we must cover, and they all work together. You will not learn this stuff anyplace else. Stay tuned. Boy, you can tell my voice. All of that daggone sinus. You know how that sinus stuff goes. Woo. But
that or allergies, one of the two.
Oh my gosh, yes. You know, you're right. It is two separate things. I never even thought about that. I just, I'm just like, hey, this is what it is, And lo and behold, you're right, Miss Marie. Yeah, that's not good. So anyway, the point is, guys, our subject today is very important. You're not going to learn this information anyplace else. And you know that in order to start our show officially, we got to have what? The big gong. There we go.
It's working again.
It is. I had to do that while you were gone. I had to find the time to make that thing work. It was a pain in the butt, as you can imagine. Anyway, today we are going to be talking about an important subject, once again, that you need to know. We only talk about stuff that you need to know. We're not using filler material, as you know. We refuse to do that. The things we talk about, you will not find from anyone else, anyplace else. You will only find this type of information right here on the MLM Solution podcast. So with that being said, Ms. Marie, you can see that I've changed a logo up on the upper portion of our podcast to lighten things up a little bit. And I like that a whole lot better. I think you said you did too, and that's cool.
Yeah, it looks good.
Well, it's a little more lighthearted, and I like that. You try to have a contrast so that this important information sticks out, where people don't have to squint like I do in order to see things. So we did that, guys. We made a lot of changes. Please continue to go to the website. Please continue to visit our various channels. And Miss Marie, as I told you, we have new subscribers on the YouTube channel, and I'm so grateful for that. And we're still getting a lot of activity. I don't know what happened to our podcast since last Thursday. Thursday just went off the charts, man. It just boomed. And that's when you were gone. That's why those numbers shot up.
That could be. I was going to suggest that correlation. So.
I will. I didn't bring it up earlier because I didn't want to. But just saying. Anyway, the point is that last Thursday, you guys just blew us out of the water. We're so grateful for that. And we're grateful for each and every new subscriber. Thank you guys for coming around. Oh, excuse me, my sinuses. Bear with me, folks. Have to take a drink of water there in order to clear my throat. Oh, it's so aggravating. Anyway, Miss Marie, you have anything to add or say before we get started here?
No, I'm excited about today's topic. I think we're going to bring some tremendous value, and I hope everybody listens up, takes some notes, and enjoys the show.
Yeah, very well said. And always go back and replay the episodes if you are in fact taking notes, so that you can make sure you're getting correct notes that are, because it's hard to keep up with the content, especially as fast as I talk. Additionally, it's hard to remember all that content because we cover a lot in a short amount of time. Even though our shows sometimes go over an hour, as you guys know, we talk fast and furious and get a lot of information in. All right, with that being said, Miss Marie, we're going to get started. Our first topic that we're going to be talking about here, or first category, whatever you want to call it, is going to be quick. And people will say, okay, Rob, what do you mean? What are you getting off on a quick start for? And it's not a term. We didn't pick the word quick just because it stood out or because it is good for advertising. We put it there because it's imperative that you do, in fact, get started quickly. And you say, okay, well, what's the importance of it? Look, there's two ways to build this business, slow and fast, all right? Yeah, you can do it kind of medium, but medium is lukewarm. And lukewarm means you either get on one side of the fence or the other. Okay, if you're just lukewarm and you're just kind of dragging your ass, guess what? You're wasting your time and other people's too, because your business is just barely hanging on. The only way to build this business is either you don't build it or you build it. And that's terrible to say, but here's the thing. You're either going to become a grinder or you're going to become a business builder. A grinder says, okay, you know what? Because you will be sponsored by people say, hey, take your time. We know you're busy. We know this is a busy world. And you know what? You can take up to a year. There's a lot of people that take up to a year. What they're trying to do, but when they tell you that, is to keep you around for a year so you'll be on auto ship and you'll keep buying the product, even if you don't build the business. And they'll put this thing in your mind, hey, I got a year. I got a year. You know what? I can't get started right now. I got this going on. I got that going on. I got a year. I got a year. Folks, if you're going to have that mentality, give your product back to the company or use it up, stop the auto ship and move on, because you're not going to be able to build this business in a year. I don't advocate anybody quitting, because as long as you have an ID number, you're a part of the company. And if one day you wake up and go, oh crap, I want to build this business, you still have an ID number where you can do that. But guess what? If you're just kind of doing a little bit here, well, I'll do some on Monday, and then Thursday I'll have time, I'll do a little bit more, and then maybe this weekend, if I don't have anything going on, I'll do a little bit more, and then I'll start next week. And I promise next week I'll do more. Next week comes, other things get in the way. You might do an hour or two extra, but that's about it. And that will drag out over a year. And I'm telling you, grinders don't make it. Grinders do not make it. Grinders put money in the pocket of the company and the people that sponsored them in the upper line leadership. But outside of that, you're putting very little, if any, money in your own pocket. Okay, so if you're going to go in and just kind of, well, I'll take my time, guess what? You might as well just get your money back and move on. I'm not being harsh. I'm being realistic. I'm telling you, you cannot. We talked about that, did we not, Miss Marie? They tell you 10 hours a week. Folks, that pretty much ends up being a year. You know, if you may get lucky. They say a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while. I do believe that. And I do believe that, you know, just by being a part of the company, if you open up your mouth every once in a while, chances are you might sponsor someone to do something special. But once again, most comp plans do not reward laziness, meaning if in order to capture that volume of that superstar that you luckily ran into by doing the grinder approach, the thing is that what ends up happening is that you're going to miss most of that volume and most of that money, because in order for you to take advantage of that volume and money, you have to have a certain amount of leaders underneath you, and you have to be a certain pin level. Correct, Miss Marie?
That is correct. And I see one of the biggest struggles that people encounter, I think, is they get started in the business and they feel like they have to know everything inside and out. They want to know the comp plan and all the details. They want to know all the product details, how it works, where it's made, how it's manufactured. And they put off actually starting their business. Somebody once told me, ignorance on fire is better than knowledge on ice. So you want to take that passion and start running with the business and building, rather than getting ready to go later.
That's right. That's right. And I love that saying. I have not heard that. I've heard it in different ways, but that is probably how would you say, It's as big a contrast and in a statement that I've heard in a while regarding this business. That is awesome. Remember that for the future. I think that'll come up in handy in the future. But she's absolutely right. That statement she had is absolutely correct. Now, what I want to do, guys, we're going to talk about why getting a quick start is important. Now, I think most of you common sense wise can figure out, hey, a quick start in just about anything is going to be important. And let me just give you a few examples in real life, and then we'll come back to the network marketing business model. If any of you are married, if your spouse, especially if you're a man, says, hey, can you move that bucket that's on fire out of the kitchen out into the backyard? Yeah, if you're a guy, you kind of like, yeah, I'll do it here in a minute. I'm watching the game, or yeah, I'll get around to it right now. I'm in the basement. And, when the spouse brings that up, guess what? They're being polite. They're pretty much saying, get your ass in there and get that bucket of fire and get it out of the house. Now that they want quick action, and that situation with a bucket on fire in the kitchen does in fact require quick action. The reason I bring that up is because guess what? When you join a network marketing company, especially if it's new, the bucket is on fire and it's in the kitchen. You only have a little bit of time, as we talked about, because that company can only be around for 3 years. Even if you join it in the first year, you're already behind the 8 ball when it comes to time. If you go back and listen to the previous episodes, we talk about how if you do a 90-day mini blast, how much time that 90 days actually takes up. That first year is going to fly by. Here's the point. The bucket's on fire and you're in the kitchen. It needs to be put out, okay? The only way that's going to happen is for you to take quick action. And we talked about that, did we not, Miss Marie? When you join a new company, if you're going to take advantage of that exponential growth, you got to take action now, right?
Absolutely. And you want to get moving because, first of all, it builds success for yourself. You want to start that income coming in as quickly as possible. And you want to start the same thing for your team, your people that you're bringing in as well. And that builds the success stories, that attracts more people, and it just snowballs. And the faster you can get that going, the better it is for everyone.
Boy, that's it right there. She nailed it. And let me add to that. Here's the thing. Numbers have shown over the past 60 years that if you don't start within the first 24 hours and no later than 72, you become a grinder, and the chances of you doing anything in this business is slim to none. The numbers do not lie. That's not something that we throw out there. The numbers have said that for years, and life makes it true. Like, in other words, as life goes by each and every day, those numbers are still the same today as they were when they started in the 60s, okay? So the bottom line is, as we know, numbers don't lie. They are definitive in nature. They are finite. They do define certain things that have happened or continue to happen and identify patterns. So we can confidently say that if you don't take action within the first 24 hours or within and no later than 72 hours, guess what? You are going to be in the grinder category, and your chances for success greatly diminish. So that is imperative that you know that, and that's the reason why we're highlighting this quick start, because it's imperative to your success, your potential success in this business. The bottom line is, everybody that takes action right away typically are going to have a serious, legitimate chance of doing something special for themselves, their downline, and their family. Additionally, here's the thing. When you get, let me clarify something. If you come up, and if Marie comes to me during break at work and she says, Rob, blah, 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 and Rob's familiar with network marketing. Rob's been in network marketing before. Rob says, Marie, let's talk. So at lunchtime, we sit down and we talk, and then I say, okay, Marie, tomorrow, I can't do it tonight, but tomorrow during lunch, I'll sign up, bring the paperwork with you. And so on Tuesday, Marie brings the paperwork during lunch. I sign it. We don't really talk a lot. I ask her a few questions. I'm ready to go. I like Marie, and I think she can help me. So I sign up right there on the dotted line at lunch. Guys, I cannot start my business immediately right there. I've told you guys before, and if you don't know this episode, please go back and listen to it. It's absolutely critical. You build this business from the outside in, not the inside out. You do not want to lose your job by trying to sponsor people at work. You will cause serious issues with your friends, your cohorts, your peers, and your superiors. You do not want to do that. Sponsoring people or trying to sponsor people at work is a big mistake. Build from the outside in. In other words, the day that you come to work and you say, okay, I quit, and all your people are like, what do you mean you quit? Well, I've been building a business on the side and I make 3 times what I make here in my business, and it's costing me money by being here. I've got to go. And they're going to be like, well, wait a minute. How did you do that? Because everybody wants to make more money. That's how you build from the outside in. So the point is, Marie sponsors me on Tuesday. I keep my mouth shut. But guess what? Tuesday afternoon or evening when we get home from work, Marie has set up a training session. So Tuesday, she teaches me within the first 3 hours that we talk, and it may not take 3 hours, but she says, Rob, here's the 5 simple steps. Here's the music to the ears message. Here's the website. Go in and look at this stuff, download these documents, and give me a call when you do it so we can go through this stuff. Within 3 hours, Rob's ready to go. So on Wednesday, there's no excuse for Rob not to have a lead generation site set up. Okay. And Rob can wait until he gets home from work Wednesday evening. Now I'm laying this scenario out because I want you to see how this works in today's crazy, busy world. So Rob, who is going to be professional, continue to give the company the time and effort that they're paying me for, which is the right thing to do. I keep my mouth shut at work and I just do my job like I always do. And then Wednesday evening, guess what? I go home, I set up these online generation systems that Marie has shared with me because I need this constant source of leads. If I so choose to talk to friends and family, because I've never done that before, then that's certainly something I can do. I can make that list. Marie tells me that. And I want to focus on people that are teachers, people that are entrepreneurs, people that have told me, hey, I want to make money in my spare time, whatever the case may be. Okay, you don't have to talk to every member of your family or friends. If you have associates that own their own businesses and you know they're stressed out and struggling or whatever, you can let them know. Okay, and you still use the music to the ears message. The message doesn't change no matter who they are, because everybody wants to make money, and that's what you're sharing. Hey, I got a way to make money, basically. Okay, so Rob has these multiple ways of developing leads that are coming in. And because Marie's training, she's taught me to use the music to the ears message, okay, to share with these people that I'm getting from my online lead generation and my friends and family, acquaintances, et cetera, et cetera. So with that being said, I now have my lead generation going, okay, which is going to help me get off to a quick start. And I also understand the 90-day mini blast. I've made my goals. Marie's helped me fill out those forms. I know what they are, and I'm going. Marie hit it on the head a minute ago. If you want to be successful in this business, you've got to get started. And the thing is you got to do it correctly. Okay, so getting a quick start, meaning also that you're doing the threshold of profitability, which is 100 PV. Marie's going to help you set that up. She's going to ask you, Rob, can you afford to do 100 PV in product per month? This company has a wide range of products, a lot of great products, a lot of personal care products, nutritional products, et cetera. All you have to do is just replace what you're taking now. You know, if they offer toothpaste, get it from you. She lays it out, tells me the importance of doing that 100 PV. I get it. I understand. So I've done that. So I have everything in place. The only thing that's left, guys, that's left is for me to have a constant source of leads and share the music to the ears message, and then train the new people that join me the same way Marie trained me. That first day, getting everything. Now duplication's taking place, and I got off to a quick start. Why? Because Marie kept it simple. She taught me the 5 simple steps. She helped me fill out the forms. She told me the importance of doing 100 PV and how to do that. We sat down. I know what my goals are. She had told me about the music to the ears message to master that. Why did I bring all that up? Because we talked about it in previous episodes, because this is all a part of the quick start. After one day, Marie's got me trained to take action immediately. And she helped me set up multiple ways of developing leads that will come to me. Yeah, I may have to reach out to my friends and family because they're not going to call me. But these lead generation systems that are bringing leads to me, these are people that are looking for opportunities. So when I get the lead, I know this person's looking. So we have something in common already. Okay. So all of this, that we just covered is part of that quick start program. I've done my 100 PV. I mastered the message. I filled out the forms, and I'm doing what Marie told me. And yeah, I might be a little slow in the beginning, but by the time the 90th day comes around, if I'm consistent, because step number 5 in the 5 simple steps is what? Consistent, correct business building activity. So if I'm consistent in sharing the message and having the leads come in, and I continue to do the 100 PV, guess what? I'm on my way, and I'm going to get better, because very few people are great in the beginning. People are nervous. They're learning. They're trying to develop their timetable that they can devote to this each and every day, et cetera, et cetera. But as time goes along and the momentum builds up, guess what? They're excited. Now they make time. Instead of finding time, they're making time to get this thing, because now they're on a roll. And Marie's told them the importance. And once they get on the roll, do not slow down. But she's also told them, don't ruin your job. Don't ruin your family. You got to take time for yourself. But believe me, in the beginning, when you put in 3 hours in one day, it seems to drag. But as you get better and better and better, as time goes along, those 3 hours fly by. And you're like, crap, those 3 hours are already gone. I'm on a roll. I want 2 more hours. It becomes fun and you want to do it. What is your number one goal when you get a quick start? And then we're going to move on to the second point. Your number one goal is to do what? Develop money. Why? Because you got to have a story. And the success stories start with you, meaning that you've got to do the 5 simple steps she taught you. But your number one goal in doing those steps is develop your own paycheck, so that you can say, look, I've made money my first month. I don't care if it's $75. It's fine. Here's the thing. You can also show them, you're not allowed by law to show them your checks. Okay. You can tell them, but you're not supposed to show people checks. I want to let you know that it's against the law. They passed that years ago because people in network marketing were doing that. And what that was insinuating is that Marie was going to make $30,000 a month too. Okay. And Marie would sue me because Rob told me, he showed me a check and said I could do this too. So I totally get it. But the point is you can say, look, I've done this and this is the money I've made. You can tell them, you just can't show them. And I did it by doing these 5 simple steps. You want to make money as quick as possible, because the key to your success is not only to show people, hey, I did it. I can also help you and show you how you can do it. And the sooner you get people to make money, they are hooked, because people know in order to have the lifestyle that they want, in order for them to have the time freedom they want, they've got to have money. Okay. And so you got to show them that this system is working, and you can do that by generating your first check yourself by doing the 5 simple steps and getting off to a quick start. It's imperative. This is not taught a lot of times, right, Marie? The things I just covered are absolutely essential. You have to create that first check. That's your first success story that you can share, and it's proof that it works.
It is. And Rob, I have a feeling there's a number of our listeners out there who are realizing, oh my goodness, I didn't get off to a quick start. I'm in the grinder category.
Yeah.
Now, we don't want people to be discouraged thinking you can't be successful.
Right.
You're learning this. This is new information. You know what? Put a stake in the ground now. Start today. Kick this off as your quick start. If you can do it with the company you're with, absolutely get fired up and go. If it takes finding another company where you feel the compensation plan's better, the product's better, you can get excited about it, whatever the issue may be, to get you going again, go do it. Don't give up. Don't think that because you didn't get off to a quick start that, oh, too late for me, it can't be done. It still can be. You just need to decide, and then you need to move.
That's right. Very well put. And that is, she hit the nail on the head, guys. That's exactly it right there. And so if we talk too fast there, please rewind, please get pen and paper, write this stuff down. I'm telling you, it's critical to your success. Getting a quick start. Okay. And on the other end of the coin, I want you to know, don't stress yourself out over quote unquote, Rob said to get a quick start. Marie said to get a quick start, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to become a grinder. We're not saying the moment the ink dries on the application that you have to get started right away. What we're saying is People that wait 72 hours or longer, history has shown that they more than times than not, and is a very high percentage. And the only reason I'm not quoting this percentage because I don't remember off the top of my head. It's been so long since I looked at that number. Here's the thing. It is very, very high. I will say 8 out of 10, maybe even 9 out of 10 people will become grinders, and grinders eventually either become customers or they get out of the business. Okay. If you're serious about your future, if you're serious about success, and you know this business model can deliver on what you want, it's imperative that you not wait more than 72 hours, that you get off on the right step. And the right step is getting started quickly. And you don't feel like you got to come out of the gate like gangbusters. Okay. Come out of the gate and start making a constant effort. Okay. If you can only do 1.5 hours your first day, if you can only do 1.5 hours your second day, if you can only do 2 hours on your third day, okay, and by the end of the week, you've only been able to average 2 hours a day, that's okay. You got off on a consistent start. It's not great, okay, because you're still in the 10-hour-a-week category, but at least you were consistent, at least you're learning, and at least you're making mistakes, and you're beginning to understand how the business works and what your role is and how one step follows the other, okay? Don't be hard on yourself. Some people are going to come out of the gate like gangbusters, but you can't judge your business, your activity, your potential success on what Marie's doing. Rob's got to focus on Rob. Okay. Now, Marie may motivate me, but I can't. My circumstances may be different than hers, and that's not using life as an excuse. I may be working 2 jobs. Okay. I may have a job in a other challenges, life challenges outside of that job. Okay. Where I can't take that activity right away. But here's the thing, Rob finds a way. He's consistent. He finds a way to find those hours. And I'm determined to do this 90-day mini blast. I'm going to give it everything I have. Okay. And I'm going to squeeze as many hours as I can without hurting my physical health, without hurting my relationship with my spouse, and without hurting my job. Always keep those 3 things number one. You cannot put this business ahead of those. It's important, but because of the leveraging, you can utilize this business model in the duplication process, meaning it's not the duplication of the system, although that's important. Look, in order for the duplication of a business system to happen, you have to duplicate you. The business system doesn't work on its own. A human being has to work the business system, meaning you have to find people like you that are willing to work, that are committed, that are persistent. Okay. So duplication only happens when you duplicate yourself. And then those humans who have the same traits as you and the same commitment as you are using the system the way it's supposed to be used. That's when duplication takes place, correct? Wouldn't you say that was spot on?
Spot on, and that is absolutely what you want. You want to start building, you want to start generating success, and you want your team to duplicate that, which then just builds and grows exponentially.
Mm-hmm. And you know what, as we close this, because we're moving on to the next one, here's the thing. Guys, you want other success stories. You don't want it to be just your own. Your own is great. Your own where Rob can show Marie and say, Marie, this is what I did my first. I can't show my check. I'm saying this is what I did. I did $75 my first month, whatever, and I only did this many hours. I'm going to show a direct contrast and a direct connection, the contrast between the hours I put in and the money I got, and also the connection between the two and how I'm going to get better because I'm getting better at the system. I'm putting more time in. So my check, it's all about momentum. And here's the thing. You got to get that other first success story. In other words, Rob has to get Marie to her success story as quickly as possible and promote that. Okay. And what I mean by that is that when Marie gets her first check, and hopefully it's bigger than mine because I'm working with her. So not only am I leveraging myself, but I'm helping her. She's not going to have the same challenges because she's allowed me to work with her, doing 3 ways, video conference, whatever. And because of that, Marie's going at a faster rate. She's going to get a bigger check, and she's going to have a greater success story. And my job as a leader is to edify her and promote her in what she has accomplished utilizing this business model. And for me, Rob, not to take any credit at all, to say exactly what happened. Marie just did what I showed her to do. She only asked me questions when she needed help, and I was there for her, and she used the system. The system produces the results because she applied what I showed her, and that's it. Okay, Rob's to fade off in the background. He's not the superstar here. So I got to promote her success first. So what? So it can start the momentum. It's not about me and my success. It's about her. Because when I can prove to other people that Marie was successful because I showed her how to do the business, they say, wow, Rob used the same system as Marie. Marie used the same system as Rob. Marie got a bigger check than Rob because Rob helped her out. There's not only support here and guidance from Rob, but the system works. It did it for both of them. I can see how I can do the same thing. You see how that success story starts rolling right off the bat? Quick starts produces what we just covered. That's the importance, guy, of having quick starts. All right, let's move on to the next subject. Sorry that was long, but we got to get the first step right in order to get to these other subjects. You have to understand the importance of getting started correctly. So we did that. Profitable start. How do you get off to a profitable start? And why is it so important? Well, we've already kind of covered this just briefly in the other point, but we're going to elaborate a little bit. These other points are going to go quickly because they're really just kind of piggybacking off of the quick start. Profitable start, how do you make that happen? 100 PV per month, that's it. There's no secret here. If you're not committed and find some way, eat three less pizzas a week. Go to less movies per week. Go to less whatever per week. If you golf, cut down on, instead of playing 5 days a week, go and play 3 days a week. Whatever the case may be, there's going to be some sacrifices for some people. Not everybody just has an extra $100 to $110, $20, which is basically going to create 100 PV for most companies laying around. Okay, hopefully you do, but here's the point. If you don't, just look around where you can save money. Okay, don't cut out your insurance. Make sure you make your rent. Make sure you make your house payment. Make sure you make your car payment. That's not what we're saying. We're saying, look at where you eat, how often you eat, look at your groceries, look at the things. Don't go hungry. That's not what we're saying. Don't go without paying your electricity. We're not saying that. We're looking at the discretionary income to where you can say, hey, I think I can cut back here, here, and here, and here. Okay. And maybe I can cut down on driving around some. There are ways you can cut $100 out of your budget somehow. Marie, I think we've all been there, and I think we've all done it.
Well, and my favorite one to recommend to people is that cable TV, because you know what? There's not a whole lot out there worth watching, and that time you're spending binge watching Tiger King can be better spent building your business and building your future for yourself, your family, and your team.
Yep. If you give this business 2 years, maximum 3 years, it will give you your life back for a lifetime. So if you're willing, like she said, to give up the Lion King, whatever it is, I forgot what she said. Tiger King, I think it was, whatever. I can tell, I don't know what she's talking about. But anyway, the point is that you want to be able, if you're willing to commit to making those changes for a short period of time, you could change your life the next 30, 40 years. I think that's a great trade-off. But Maria, also, that's a good point. I just want to bring this up. For the longest time, I was with AT&T for 17 years. I have nothing bad to say. I've been with all the cell phone companies literally over a course of time, go from one to the other when it was really a rage of people jumping from one company to the other because every company was underbidding the other one, and offering you great deals and blah, blah, blah. And as long as I had cell service, I didn't care what company it was, but they all had their challenges, okay? So I was with AT&T, had nothing for 17 years, finally, settled to them. No particular reason why. They always seemed to take care of me, but there was always issues, always. And we had AT&T Uverse TV service. We had AT&T and internet, and we had their cell phone. So long story short, what was it? There was something else. Oh, okay, never mind. So, streaming TV starts coming along, and I'm a techie, I guess you call. I love technology and, blah, 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 and gadgets. So when Sling TV had been out for a while, a lot of people don't know that. They were the first out there, and they've been around for a long time. And I was looking at Sling TV, and I ended up going to Sony View. A lot of people didn't know Sony offered TV service. They don't anymore, but they did. Great service. I don't know why they got away from it. But anyway, the point is that I told the wife, I said, hey, You know what? We got AT&T Uverse, and we're paying, as you just stated, well over $100 and something a month. Okay, which aggravated the crap out of me. But there wasn't any difference between the cable company and AT&T Uverse runs off of a proprietary system that only AT&T has, and I'm not going to explain how it works. And I've had Dish, and I've also had DirecTV, so I've done it all. Okay, and the point is, they were all about the same price. They pretty much, I mean, there wasn't much difference between them. So anyway, I think AT&T Uverse was $140 a month. You know, when you pay the taxes and everything. I went to Sony View. It was when I joined Sony View, it was $35 a month, the exact same channels as Uverse. So I went from $140 something down to $35 a month. Left AT&T, paid them off. It was like $2,000 to get out of the contract. Paid them off, and went to Cricket. Our Cricket bill is $80 a month for both of us. Unlimited text, unlimited data. And went to Uverse. So for less than $150, I saved $600 a month. So folks, you can't tell me you cannot find a way to save money. And we still do streaming. We've been doing streaming for about 5 years now. You know, we were one of the first people to go to it. Most people, when we told them we were streaming, they'd look at us, they'd tilt their heads and, what are you talking about? They didn't have a clue, you know. But anyway, the point is that there's some savings right there to tag on to what you were saying.
Yep. And it's all about leveraging the time you have available to you, right? It's the greatest thing you can invest in your business. So aside from saving money, look at places where you can save time as well. What are the activities you're doing or not doing that are really contributing to your life, contributing to the future that you want for you and your family? You need to leverage your time well in order to build this business.
Yes. Yes. So we just told you how to save money, find places to save money. Okay, gave you real life examples, and she's also tapped on, you know, don't binge watch. And I love binge watching, so I mean, I've done it. But the thing is, believe it or not, we don't watch that much TV, even though we have great prices on it. But the point is, it's there and we want it. We're so busy, we don't have time, to be honest with you, to watch TV. The point is that why are we so busy? Because we invest not only our time in our futures, because I still do investing and I still do a lot of other things, but also we take our time and our money and our talents and we volunteer and we help other people. So we're having a bigger impact outside of ourselves because we've already taken care of ourselves. We had to take care of ourselves first before we had the ability to help others. Okay, so that's what we're talking about here. So profitable start is just as important as the quick start, because if you're not able to make that first check, I don't care how quick you get started, you have no success story to share. You have no proof the system works, and you have no proof that you actually work the system. So you have no story. You're just promoting an intangible that people can't put their arms around. Okay, they can't see tangible evidence. All right. And I'm telling you, when you start getting success, you're going to glow. You're going to have a smile on your face. That confidence is going to ooze out of you. And people are going to say, there's something about Rob that's different. Okay. He's excited about something. He's got a hold of something. Okay. So the bottom line is that you have to find a way to do that 100 PV from the get-go. Why is that also important? Not only for the start, but down the road. Guys, you've got to set the standard from the get-go. You got to say from day one, I did 100 PV, and here's the sacrifices I made. That's part of your success story. You know what? I went from AT&T to Cricket, or whatever carrier you want, and it saved me $100 something a month, and I used that money to do my business, okay, to support my business. I went to streaming TV, and it saved me another $100 something. So not only do I have better service all the way around for my cell and my TV, but I saved me and my family $200 something a month. $100 something of that is going to my business. And look, I made my $75 my first month. Okay. You have to have the ability to show them how you created the money to make your business go. If that isn't, and I'm telling you, even if you can afford it, if you make those changes, why you say, why do I want to make those changes? Guys, even though you can afford it, make those changes, because Marie may not be able to afford it. And she will appreciate the fact that you told her, Marie, this is what I did. I left AT&T and went to Cricket, and this is what I say. That was where my money. And Marie to herself, you know what? That sounds really good. I think I'll check into that. That may be the extra money. I can still eat 10 pizzas a week and still go to 58 movies a week, because I saved on my cell phone. Wouldn't you agree with that, Marie? Wouldn't that be a good approach? I mean, it is. That's what we did.
Oh, absolutely. And again, you're sharing success stories. In this case, it's not the success of building the business necessarily. It's the success of how they leverage their time, their money, and their efforts to be able to build their business.
Yeah.
And again, you have your own story to share, but you also have the story from your team within your organization to share as well, because you may have someone who has an actual challenge with finances and they made some radical changes to contribute to their business building and then their success. And that can be an exciting and inspirational story to share as well.
There it is right there, guys. Every little success story that you can share on how you got your business started is critical to your success. Don't ever take any of that for granted. Here's the thing. There's two things to this profitable start. One, you're setting the example by doing the 100 PV per month. You're sharing how you created the money to make that 100 PV happen. Here's the other thing. Not only you're setting the example, duplication is going to take effect. How do you get paid? You get paid by creating volume. How do you create volume? By buying product. How do you buy product? By having money. We all know the threshold of profitability is the minimum that you can do to have a profitable business. Okay? Meaning that you're not going to have to work. Rob's not going to have to work let me rephrase this. Marie, if she doesn't use the threshold of profitability, is going to have to work 3 to 5 times harder and take longer to reach the same level of success as Rob, who is using the threshold of profitability and promoting it. So why would she waste her valuable time working longer hours, longer months, and also have to work 3 to 5 times harder? Meaning she's going to put in more hours to catch up with what I'm doing. And she's thinking to herself, how in the world is he doing that? Well, because I'm using the threshold of profitability, meaning that I'm going to be profitable from my first month, my second month, and the third month in the business onward, meaning I have a legitimate chance to be one of the top earners in the company because I got off to a quick start, and I'd set the profit from the beginning by using the threshold of profitability, which is going to skyrocket me to stardom and fame and freedom if I do it right and set it from day one. I'm telling you, this is the way to go. And you guys, you have common sense. You can see that. Everybody can look at that and say, yes, that makes perfect sense. Yes, I can see how that can happen. And that is, regardless of industry, how a lot of companies create success quickly because everything lines up because they do the right things. It doesn't guarantee anything. But what it does is history has proven that if you do a lot of things right, chances are there's a lot of good things that are going to happen for you. Okay. So here's the thing. Getting off to a profitable start leads to profitability down the road, stability, and a huge business and a great lifestyle. It all starts from day one. It all starts as part of the get start process. Okay, Miss Marie, you got anything else to add to that before we move on?
Nope, I think we're good. Obviously, a quick start helps you get off to a profitable start. And I think it'll be interesting to see what we have to share about what that correct start means.
Exactly. And that segues us into that. On the ticker now, for all of you on the podcast, is in fact our third subject here, and it's the correct start. How to get off to a correct start and why it is so important. We just talked about two things that are part and key components of getting off to a correct start. Okay. If you don't get started within your first 24 hours, no later than 72 hours, you are not doing the correct step. If you are not doing the threshold of profitability, you are not getting off to the correct start. Okay. Now, to clarify, and it's not to back up and it's not to backpedal. Here's the thing. Even if you make changes and you only do $75 a month, $75 a month in personal volume, then you should move forward, but quickly as possible. You need to get that up to 100 PV. Okay. I'm not going to tell you to lie to your downline. Okay. I'm not. That's not the right way to do things in life, period. Here's what I am going to tell you is that always be honest with them. But if you don't do the 100 PV, okay, it's going to catch up with you. And you're going to fool yourself thinking that I'm doing 75 PV and things are working. I'm telling you what's going to happen. That's going to permeate throughout your business. And they're going to say, well, Rob's only doing 75 PV. And look, he's having a certain amount of success, not great success. Well, you know what? He's been pulling my leg. I don't need to do 100 PV. And I'm going to tell you, you cannot take a 75 and turn it into 100 because it's impossible. You cannot convince them because then they're going to say, well, you're saying, do as I say, not as I do. And then they're going to get resentful and you're going to have a problem and you're not going to be able to overcome it. What basically is going to happen is you're going to have to keep your mouth shut, let them do 75 PV. You move up to 100 PV. And as you start really starting to take off and become a name in the company, and they come to you and say, hey, how did you do that? Well, because I moved up to 100 PV as quickly as possible. Okay. You set the example instead of telling them to do it. Okay. And you may sponsor people when you're doing 75 PV. You've got to be honest and tell them, this is all I can afford to do right now. I encourage you to do 100. Here's what I'm going to do to get to 100, but I'm not able to do that this week, this month, whatever. But you better move up quickly. So I wanted to clarify that, Miss Marie, because it is part of the Correct Start program. And I forgot to cover that when we were on the other side of the Profit Start. It's important because not every person will be able to do 100 PV right off the bat, even if they make the changes in their cell phone, their pizza eating, their movie going, whatever the case may be.
Well, and if that is part of your story where you could not come in and do the 100 PV right off the bat, be honest and share that with people. It's like, hey, my situation was such that I had to start at 75 PV, but I can't fully leverage the compensation plan until I'm at 100. So I did this, that, and the other thing to get me to 100 PV as quickly as possible. And that's where I live today, if not higher, if that leverages you even better in your compensation plan. So again, that can be a great story to share with your team. That can be inspirational for people as well, because there are the folks out there that's like, oh, you want me to start at 100 PV, but I can't. There's still hope. It still can be done, but you want to get to that level, as Rob said, as quickly as possible, because you are setting the bar for your team. When they ask what you're doing, they're going to do the same or less to begin with. It's the rare person that's going to come in and exceed what you're already doing.
Absolutely. And thank you for adding that. You're absolutely right. And folks, that's something that you have to realize. And once again, if they say 75, think about it. They're going to have to work three, in that case, probably 2 to 3 times harder than Rob when he moves up to the 100 PV. And then they'll come to you and they'll say, Rob, how are you outperforming me? Because they're going to see it. And that's when you can tell them, hey, that's because I moved up to 100 PV. Well, why didn't you tell me? Well, because I didn't know if you could afford to do it or not. You know, I figured that if you wanted to move up, since you knew that 100 PV is the threshold, I thought maybe when you were ready, you'd get in touch with me. So, you know, that you did the right thing by taking that approach. Okay. So now that we have that out of the way, we're talking about the correct start. That was part of it. And I wanted to take a step back to the previous point because it was important that we clarified that for a couple of reasons. One, for those that couldn't afford it. Number two, it is part of the Correct Start program. Okay. And that is what? You got to be able to you got to get started right away. The quick start is absolutely essential. The 100 PV per month is absolutely essential. Whether you do it right away or you work your way up to it, whatever the case may be, and you got to work your way up to it quickly as possible without hurting your family, etc. You got to make sure you have electricity, food, and everything else, okay? Nobody's going to blame you for that. So don't you dare feel guilty for taking care of life events first. You hear me? The point is that all the other stuff, the TVs and all that is stuff that you can get rid of and adjust. And you can come back to the TV later. So here's the thing, how to get off to a correct start and why it's so important. We talked about 2 things here already that are vitally important. But another part we have not talked about is your mental state in getting started correctly. And this means this, the 5th step in the 5 simple steps of success is this: consistent, correct business building activity. Those words could not be more important. They are the most important words in the 5 simple steps. They are the most important words or the most important step in the 5 simple steps, believe it or not. Okay, because nothing else matters in there. You can do the 4 other steps. They're physical steps that you have to do. Okay. But here's the thing. None of them matter if you're not consistent. You may go 2 days and then take 3 days off. And the next week decide to do 3 days and take 2 days off. Folks, that ain't going to get you anywhere. Okay. You're going to become a grinder. You might say, well, I'm putting in, I'm putting in 3-4 hours every day. I can only do 2 days one week and 3 days the next. Folks, I just got to be brutally honest. Okay. Based on what it is you want from this business, that is not going to get you where you want to go. The key words, consistent, correct business building activity is imperative to your success. And the part of the correct activity is every day. You should take Saturday and Sunday off. I used to work Saturday and Sundays because I wanted to get it over with. Okay. I knew that if I took Saturdays and Sundays off, what did you think my downline was going to do? If I took Saturdays and Sundays off and all of a sudden some of my downline, a third of my downline decides to take Monday off, what do you think that does to my momentum? Okay. What do you think it does to their business? Next thing you know, they're taking Tuesday off. Okay. I didn't want to work Saturdays and Sundays. Did I work a full 8 hours? Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes longer. Other times, no. I'd work 3 or 4 hours. I'd look at my numbers and say, you know what? I got to put in 3 or 4 hours. How did I look at my numbers? I logged into my office and I looked at what was going on. I looked at my weakest link and I looked at other things and said, okay, hey, I've got to do some work here. Okay. It wasn't always about recruiting a new person. Everybody gets caught up in the recruiting. When you get the thing rolling, you look into your business, you'll see weak spots and you'll say, well, that person's really struggling or that person's not doing as well. They're really sharp. I need to give it. What am I doing? I'm working an existing leg instead of trying to sponsor a new one and going through that whole process. Why not work with what I already have and get with them? That sometimes it only takes 3-4 hours in a day, but was I productive? Was I moving my business forward? Yes. Because even if they say, no, Rob, the reason I'm not doing as well as I had anticipated, I've got some life events come up, or I decided to be a customer, whatever the case may be, and you say, okay, that's still progress. Why? Because it tells me what I need to do next week. I still move forward. I still found out. I still stabilize my business. I'm doing positive things. Okay. That's moving and stabilizing my business. Okay. So the point is, I'm being consistent. Okay. Correct business building activity. The 2 misleading words in there is business building. Well, 3 business building activities, meaning that means that Rob has to sponsor more people, more people, more people. No. If I have a goal of 60 people because I understand the comp plan and I know that I can maximize the comp plan and this financial opportunity because of those 60 people, because of 1/3, then guess what? I don't need to go and sponsor another 60 people. I can, but I don't need to. Maybe I decide later on to do a second mini blast to sponsor an additional 15, but I got to work my 60 first to make sure I know what I have. I stabilize it. I address the issues, find the weaknesses, and then I can say, okay, you know what? I need to do another 90-day mini blast. I need 15 more people to get the money and lifestyle I want. What am I doing? I'm working the business correctly. That is business building activity, despite the fact I'm not sponsoring people. Okay. Because when I help my downline grow and expand, that's business building activity. It's creating volume. It's moving product. It's advancing pin rank. Am I doing the right things? Is that business building? Yes. Yes. I'm making money. The company's making money. My downline's making money. That's business building activity. You can't let the term business building activity insinuate that means recruiting. No. That's not what it means. Okay. Consistent, correct business building activity means you set 90-day goals. By golly, go for them. Once you get there, evaluate whether you met them, fell short of them, or exceeded them, and then make adjustments in the business. That's where the advanced teachings come in our members area. We show you how to do business building 90-day mini blast, helping your business grow. Okay. So you can't get caught up in that. So you got to do consistent. Sorry about that, Oliver. I didn't mean to do that, buddy. You okay? I kicked my dachshund in the face. I'm sorry, buddy. He was sound asleep. Oh, I am so sorry.
But to clarify that, Rob, a little bit is when we're first starting out in the business, we are focusing that first 90-day mini blast on the recruiting, because that's how we need to build the business, right? We need to bring the business builders in, and then that correct business building activity does adjust as we continue on to our second 90-day mini blast.
Yes, exactly. And the thing is that with people, number one, they're not going to learn that consistent, correct business building activity term is an important part of the business building system. And it is. How often do you hear that, Marie? Did anybody ever tell you that? Did anybody ever show you that when you were working the business?
Not initially. I was many years in before that whole concept clarified in my mind.
Yes. And a lot of people are misled thinking that they can cheat the system, by putting in this much effort and getting that much return. You know that. We've talked about it many times. And they don't need to be consistent. And that's so wrong, okay, because it's not going to work. And people get frustrated and they give up on their dreams. And what we do is address the real issues. So part of getting the correct start, guys, is being consistent in the correct business building activity, okay? And the consistency is nothing more than the hours, just putting in the effort. That doesn't mean that you sit in front of the computer and stare at your downline in your genealogy or your back office, and you put in 3 hours staring at the screen and say, okay, I'm done. That's part of the business. No, no.
Yeah, here's the thing to understand. Again, this is a true business, and being consistent and performing the correct activities is true in any business. If you owned a restaurant, would you only open on Tuesday and Thursday one week to serve your customers, and then maybe open Monday, Wednesday, Friday the following week? No, a restaurant is going to be open every day. Maybe they're closed on Sunday, Monday. Maybe, because everybody needs a break, right? We need at least a day of rest. So I'm not saying you just drive constantly, but you need to be consistent. And the restaurant owner is constantly taking inventory, making sure he has the food and drink available that the customers want, and then he's providing that service on a consistent daily basis. It's the same thing in this business. If you are treating it as a business, you have to perform those activities daily, and that's the recruiting, the supporting your team, doing the training, going through those 5 simple steps and training your downline to do the same. And consistency is the key. If you start taking off sporadically, especially early on, you're going to kill your momentum, you're going to become frustrated, and you're going to give up. And we don't want that for you.
Absolutely. And part of that consistent, correct business building activity, guys, is setting the example, doing the 100 PV and being out there and working. Because I'm telling you, your downline is going to mimic what you do, period. Okay. And it's, a lot of people will try and buck the system in the beginning. Well, I don't want to do this in my business. And you're fine. Yep. You're absolutely right. See you later. Because Rob won't work with those people. Why? Because their attitude is poison, not only to themselves and their downline, but to Rob too. Okay. And a lot of people, well, Rob won't work with me. Rob's being an elitist. Rob's doing this. Rob thinks he's a big shot. Well, you know what? No, that's not the case at all. It's that Rob's an experienced business builder, and he knows the signs of trouble when he sees it, and he gets away from that trouble because he knows what a cancerous environment that is and how quickly that can spread throughout the organization. That's the reason why a lot of people say, oh, my sponsor won't work with me, or, my blind leadership. Well, guess what? Look in the mirror. Maybe it's because you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Okay. And there was something I was going to say to tag off of what you just said. I forgot now. But anyway, the consistent, correct business activity, you'll come to me in a minute. Business building activity, folks, is, well, I think it was setting the example. I think that's what I was trying to make here. But the point is that you got to remember that everything you do in this business, and Marie, what I was going to add, yes, onto what you said. I'm not backing up, but guys, she brought up a wonderful example with the restaurant. But guys, do you know how restaurants like McDonald's, and I really don't count that as a restaurant, that's a fast food franchise. But even if you go to your favorite restaurant, you have your favorite meal, whatever it may be, and you think, oh man, every time I go, I'm going to have this certain meal. You know what? The reason why you enjoy it, okay, is because they build it correctly each and every time. Your mouth's already watering. You can already taste that meal before you get there because they're so consistent in what the meal preparation, and they're doing that preparation correctly, using the same ingredients, the same time in the oven, whatever the case may be. And because of consistent, correct food preparation, they get the same meal that you enjoy time and time again. It's this, what we're telling you is no different in any industry. Okay. There's always a consistent, correct way to do things. In this business, it's business building activity. As long as you do the 4 steps previous to the 5th one, which is a consistent, correct business building activity, you're taking the physical, correct steps to make the business go. What's left is consistent, correct business building activity, meaning that if you make a mistake, say you have a bad Friday and you don't do the correct steps, which I've done, believe me, I've been consistent, but there's times I screwed it up, and I go home, bam, bam, bam. What's wrong with me? I know better. I made mistakes here, and I shouldn't have done that. Why did I do that? Okay. The bottom line is that I didn't sit in a corner and suck my thumb, but I got mad at myself and corrected what I did and got back on track. Okay. And what it was is that I had more positive days than I did negative. I'm not a machine. I'm going to make mistakes, right? And there are times when I have to take off. I'll tell you, there was times I was wore out. I wasn't good to anybody, including myself. So what ended up happening? I would take like a Friday off, okay? And then I might take a Saturday off based on what was going on with my body and everything. But I was right back at it on Sunday, okay? And I would let my downline know. I'd say, hey, guys, I am wore out. I have got to take time off. Here's what's going on. Communication is key. Being truthful is absolutely imperative. People get it that you're tired and you're wore out. Hey, I work 2 jobs. I put in this, I have this going on, guys. I just want to let you know I have got to get some sleep. You know what? If you need some help, if you don't need me right away, please let me sleep. I'm going to, the wife and them are going to let me sleep Friday and Saturday. Sunday, I'm ready and raring to go. People get that, don't they, Marie?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Everybody needs a break, and you have to manage your time well.
Right. And people would say, well, Rob, that take away from your 90 days? And I said, if you wanted to. And they said, well, what do you mean? I said, guys, the 90 days is a mythical number. You may finish in 85 days. In other words, get to the goals that you established on the 90-day list or sheet that you put down. Okay. It may take you 95 days, 97 days. Okay. So if you have to take 2 days off to get your health back, that's okay. That means you'll be doing it for 92 days calendar wise. You're still doing 90 days. It's just that as far as activity, you're still doing 90 days. But as far as the calendar is concerned, that's 92 days. Who gives a flip? Okay. Don't beat yourself up over that. That 90-day is a goal day. You should take it serious, but you should not take it so serious that you ruin your family life, you ruin your health, you ruin your job. Don't do that. Be realistic about this. Okay. If you miss a couple days, that just means you're going to be working 2 extra days on the end of your calendar. That's okay. Did I make that clear?
I think so. And honestly, the bottom line is get to work, do it, take action.
Yes. For 90 days. And even if it takes you 95 days, just have 90 days of consistent work. That's the key, right?
It is. Yep.
Right. And you know what I used to do, guys? I used to take a calendar and I would put an X on every day that I had activity. Well, not an X, I'm sorry. I did a check on every day that I did consistent, correct business building activity. And then on the days I didn't, I put an X. Okay. What did that tell me? It was a progress for me chart. I was able to look and say, you know what? I missed 2 days here. I got to make up for that on the tail end of that. Okay. And if I had on circled like September 29th as my 90th day, I'd go, guess what? And I would move 2 days past that date and put October 2nd if I had to. You see what I'm saying? That was my new target date. That was my new 90 day. Okay. And what did they do? That relieved the stress. It relieved the anxiety that I missed 2 days. I still had my 90-day thing going on, and I could go right back into consistent, correct business building activity. This is how you get off on a correct start, guys. You take all of this that we shared with you here. This is a correct start. Doing the 4 steps, including, of course, it's not listed in the 4 steps, the 100 PV per month, which is part of the business building activity. That's the correct business building activity. You do the 4 steps, you add the 5th, and you are doing the correct start. That is exactly what you need to do, which includes the 100 PV personal volume per month, and setting the example. If you do the 5 steps, you're setting the example. Okay. In to really make the correct start work, you've got to be honest and truthful with your downline. If you take some time off, if you cannot afford the 100 PV, you have to do it. Okay. But you've got to stay in constant communication with them. If you leave them guessing, they're going to think the worst. And once that starts, well, Rob's got the thing going, and he's really not working like he says he is. He's really not putting in the hours like he was before. Rob's not doing this. Rob's not doing that. Okay. You have to stay in contact with them. You have to set the example. I'm telling you, your downline will find out. Believe me, I've gone through it. It is not pretty. I'm not saying try to cheat the system. I'm saying that when I didn't know what I was doing and I was making mistakes and I didn't know I was supposed to do 100 PV and I didn't know anything about consistent, correct business building activity, my downline knew it. And I was like, how in the world do you know that? I don't know if you experienced that, Marie, but that was so aggravating.
I'm sure we've all had similar experiences.
It's like they have a magic ball, crystal ball. And then they're watching Rob. Look, he didn't do it. He didn't do it.
Busted.
Yeah, busted. So Marie, that brings it to a close. We did pretty good today.
I think so. I think we shared how to get people off to the right start, how to get off to a quick, profitable, and correct start.
Yes.
And the key to it all really is consistency, right?
Being committed and being persistent and consistent. Yes, all 3 of those words go together. And really, consistent business building activity encompasses all of those traits that we just talked about. Guys, you got to have dedication. You got to have focus. You got to have a commitment to your dreams and to yourself. You got to be persistent. You have to be willing to go through brick walls because you're going to have challenges. You don't know what they're going to be, and hopefully they're small challenges. But the bottom line is, it takes all of that. But guess what? You do that every day when you get up out of that bed to go to work. If you don't feel good, if you're stressed out, whatever the case may be, what do? You force yourself to get in that car and drive to your work, and you force yourself to go through those 8 hours. Okay, regardless of how you feel. Regardless of what you're going through, you make yourself go through it. Well, by golly, if you'll do that for somebody else, a company, and I'm not anti-company per se, then why won't you do that for yourself? You just apply the same traits to your own business instead of a company. Okay. So it's not like you're doing anything that you're not familiar with. It takes a real commitment to work for a company for 40 years. It takes persistence because you're going to get sick. You're going to have challenges. It's going to take persistence. Did I already say that? Commitment, persistence, dedication to that company. In other words, not going to another company. You're dedicated to that company for whatever reason. All of that applies to your own business. You're not doing anything that you are not already doing. Correct?
That is accurate. So
hopefully this episode made a lot of sense. Miss Reed, are we done here? Do you think we covered everything?
I think we covered everything, anything and everything. I was going to say, if anybody has questions, of course, drop us a comment. Let us know. Yes. We're pretty good about responding, and we do want to address anything that perhaps wasn't clear or that you have additional questions about. It's what we're here for.
Absolutely. Thank you for bringing that up. She is absolutely correct. So with that being said, as you know, as always, we ask that you please share, like, or comment on our various social media platforms. Also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you, new subscribers. You are awesome. We thank you, all of our subscribers. You guys are absolutely awesome. And register for our notifications by hitting the bell twice. Okay, with that being said, also visit the website, TheMLM-solution.net, TheMLM-solution.net. Thank you, everyone that has been visiting. I'm very grateful for that. It's awesome. And also the MLM solution, the hashtag the MLM solution is the way to find us on any of the social media platforms we are on. And once again, follow, share, and all of that. We would greatly appreciate that. And also, as we do the live broadcast on video, please give us a thumbs up if you like what you hear and understand the points we're making. It lets us know that we're hitting the nail on the head. We certainly want to talk about subject matter that benefits you As you can tell, we're always talking about things that will get you from point A to point B sooner rather than later, because you want not only to get off to a quick start, but you want to reach success and get your first, not only your first check, but you want to get to milestone success as quickly as possible. You do not want to drag out this business building process. Miss Marie, did I do the intro today?
I think we might have missed the intro video today.
Wow, how silly of me.
Well, I threw you off your game because I'm back, right?
Yes,
I've got this new background going on.
It was Marie's fault.
My bad. Sorry, guys.
And it has nothing to do with Rob. It's all Marie's fault. It has nothing to do with my age either. So with that being said, you know what? That producer was doing good, Marie, until today. He screwed up again.
It's a Monday.
Yeah, it's Monday, that's for sure. It's a better Monday than it was a couple of weeks ago. I stumbled through that day like nobody's business. Miss Marie, look forward to seeing you tomorrow with another great episode of information that you cannot get anyplace else. Marie and I bring wonderful, state-of-the-art, current, and pertinent information to you guys that you can utilize right away to move you from point A to point B, which is your goals that you want to achieve sooner rather than later. That being said, we're going to hop off of here. Please watch our closing video.
Thank you for listening to the MLM Solution Podcast. For more info, visit our website, TheMLM-solution.net. Please follow us on the following platforms: Facebook, YouTube, etc. And share this podcast with our fellow network marketers around the world by hitting the share button on our various platforms.